So, dragons. I love drawing dragons, but now when I draw dragons, I draw them with a certain technique, and that technique can mostly just be explained by taking from life. I used to draw dragons based on other artists' depictions of dragons, but now I'm a firm believer in taking reference from nature as much as possible. So, here I will be drawing a standard European dragon, although technically the Welsh dragon, since I was doing my research and discovered that most European dragons were kind of unimpressive looking. They were just kind of like snakes with legs. But anyway, the common European. So this is a gigantic beast that flies. So it's going to have, since it's huge and it flies, it's going to have a big, huge chest. Now we're going to give it a sort of a longish kind of body, maybe with like tiger-like legs. I look at tigers for reference for the legs and also the way they move. A long, stocky neck, kind of like a horse, I guess you could say, and a kind of a blocky head. Just looks all blocky in general. It's still going to have a kind of a longish body and a long sweeping tail. Be quite impressive. One of my pet peeves, but it's rather common, so I can't exactly give that much crap for it, but when artists draw dragons as if they're like a four-legged beast, but then they stick like just scaled up versions of bat wings on there. No, you can't do that. A dragon's got to be able to fly. I studied hang glider wings and I studied large raptors, and so I create this sort of large muscular shape that allows for the shape of the wing to generate lift. A long stocky neck, kind of like a horse, I guess you could say, and a kind of a blocky head. It just looks all blocky in general. It's still going to have a kind of a longish body and a long sweeping tail. Be quite impressive. Ew, what else to do? That's pretty much it. Forward and onward we go. Now on to the lung dragon. Now, I love drawing Asian lung dragons, and I like to draw them in an interesting way. So I still draw lung dragons with sort of tiger-like, cat-like anatomy, but I just kind of lengthen it out, so almost like a weasel. Very, very large, so they're still gonna be very snaky. I'll give it a large chest too, just so just so it's got some substance to its shape. Just kind of the sense that it's got, some anatomy. Give it some weight, almost. As for the antlers, well, I have a sort of a love-hate relationship with drawing antlers. They're so cool, and yet it's just a challenge. It's just a challenge. It's fun, but it's a challenge. Keep looking up reference and whatnot. I like to draw dragons from different regions of Asia a little differently, even though the mythology is very similar. For example, Chinese dragons, I like to give them a blocky, squarish head, while Vietnamese and Japanese dragons, I like to give sort of a thinner, more dog-like snout, as opposed to the tiger-like snout that I like to do for the Chinese dragons. And here's the final version, all inked and whatnot. Now, the Quetzalcoatl, or, well, the more snaky type dragon. So, Quetzalcoatl, cockatrice, basilisk type, the feathered snake sort of dragon. And the lindworm, which apparently more commonly appears in European mythology. So here I am drawing a cockatrice, basilisk, Quetzalcoatl type, the feather serpent type dragon. I was trying to decide whether I should do a Quetzalcoatl type or a lindworm type. Yeah, they're pretty much, the way I draw them is pretty much the same. The cockatrice is just, cockatrice has feathers while lindworm doesn't. Lindworm has bat wings instead of feather wings. But, other than that, it's pretty much the same. What I like to do is I like to give them two sets of wings. I like to sort of like they had four legs and back legs that both evolved into wings, so that they can have an extra set of wings to support the writhing and sort of floppy kind of shape that a snake tends to have. But still gotta be able to fly, so I give them sizable chests. These dragons they're just gigantic snakes, but they can fly. So I like to draw them huge and heavy, show that weight like a python. More antlers, yay. No, I never actually understood how exactly feathers would work on a snake, but that's fine, I'll just wing it. Haha, wing it. So as I was researching on dragon mythology and whatnot, and was severely disappointed by a lot of what I saw, I did think maybe there is a way I could make these sorts of more classic dragons look cool and like they could exist in nature and, you know, look all epic and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, I started coming up with my own little designs for the cockatrice and the lindworm. So, you know, I think, okay, this is like a huge snake that can fly. Now, the issue is snakes are kind of heavy and floppy, whereas birds are stiff in their spine is rather stiff, their tail is really stiff, and their legs are like super skinny and basically just so they can stay streamlined. Well, how do you do that with a snake? So I gave it 2 sets of wings. Also given it a sort of a swallowtail. I mean, I don't know, I like the sort of dynamism to this funny little creature right here. I still don't feel like this dude right here would be able to fly all that well. I don't know. Hey, if anyone ever thinks of a way that a floppy, writhing, snaky thing could actually fly, like, and I'm talking like huge, a huge, floppy, snake-like thing could actually fly with wings, let me know. Yeah, let me know with all these. Like, if there's anything in these creatures' designs that you think could be anatomically better, maybe there's a way I could incorporate physics better in my dragon designs. What do you think? I was totally like winging it, haha, for the European dragon's wing sizes. I just kind of do what makes sense, but if any of you could like actually maybe like do math and figure out like, okay, if you put wings on a tiger, say, what would it take? How big would those wings have to be? How big would their chest have to be? If any of you figure that out and like actually get the numbers on that, then that'd be like super, super awesome. And I promise you I will incorporate that into my dragon designs. Bonus inking section, just cause I feel like it. For this I'm using a thinner ink pen, just, you know, just using one size, but I ink in like lots of different ways. Sometimes I use this sort of sketchy, fine line sort of style, but other times I'll use like super thick, blocky, dynamic strokes with brush pens and whatnot, and that's fun too. So, those are the ways that I like to draw dragons. Thank you very much for watching.